This program is rated G and is suitable for general audiences.
Go!
Becki and Shawn left the city for some peace and quiet.
Ow!
Sadly, their country house is anything but.
Definitely not a calm, quiet place.
So we're going to turn their big, underused property,
I like the barns.
She's a barn girl.
into a spectacular and much-needed living space.
Oh my gosh, look!
Our best impression of the squirrel.
That's awesome.
This rustic rehab is gonna get rough.
Whoa!
This has to go. But once we're done, looks a little bit different. They'll never want to go back inside.
I can't even believe it.
I'm Brian McCourt, and I'm a contractor.
I'm Sarah Keenlyside, and I'm a designer.
When you've run out of space inside,
We'll make you an amazing space outside. This
is Backyard Builds.
Wow. This is gorgeous out here.
It's a really cute house.
I love it.
This is promising for what's going to be in the back.
Yeah.
Today we meet Becki, Shawn, and their 3 kids, Alexa, Gavin, and Griffin.
Becki and Shawn are both school teachers who just made the big move from the city to the country.
When we saw this place, we were sold. We fell in love with the fact that it was super historic.
We have the beautiful trees, and the rolling hills are just amazing.
They love the great outdoors, but indoors, things aren't so great.
Our living room is just small.
We don't even have enough seats for the 5 of us. Oftentimes, Griffin ends up sitting on the floor.
This growing family needs to grow their space so they can truly appreciate their new country life.
So we're gonna do what we do best, take it outside.
Oh, wow.
Seriously?
This is huge. So wild,
Wow.
open.
This property is breathtaking. I totally understand why they bought this house.
It's really nice. Looks like a brand new metal roof.
I love the cedar shake on it. We have been crying to have a barn
I
conversion.
mean, you got married in a barn,
Yep.
so
I like the barns.
she's a barn girl. Okay,
Okay.
it's a barn.
It's a little older than I thought.
Yeah, well, the metal roof on top, I think, is deceiving.
Yeah.
Because it looks brand new. Also, the floor, it's got
Poured
cracks
concrete.
all the way through it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with being at the bottom of a slope.
Yeah.
All the moisture is going to run down and eventually wear
Yes.
away at the pad.
From the underside.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so true.
But on the bright side, it looks like there's existing electrical out here, so we won't have to trench a service line from the house.
Ooh, I see stairs. Ooh, whole back section here. Whoa, it's hot.
Hot, but look at the space.
Yeah,
And the roof looks great.
it does look great.
Oh my gosh, look!
Oh.
That looks like a real squirrel.
I almost fell down these stairs.
I would have caught you.
Okay, let's do our best impression of the squirrel.
Are we done?
That creepy.
So, did you find anything interesting?
We found many things interesting. The barn is so charming and it's got so much potential, but none of it reached yet.
No. Been a bit of a storage pit, and that's about it.
Right. So what's not working for you inside your home?
But we have no basement, and we really don't have anywhere for the kids to hang out and have their friends over and spend
Yeah.
time. I know that they'd love to roast marshmallows on a fire pit, for sure. So.
I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and we grew up in very tight quarters, and I wish we had a barn that we could have hung out in.
Absolutely.
So I think this
For
is gonna be really
sure.
fun. I'm gonna pretend it's for me as a child.
Yes,
There you
there you go. And what else is missing back here?
Our deck is really small.
Okay.
So I'd like to extend that a little bit and have
Nice.
another seating spot.
Awesome. And how would you explain your personal style?
We like the rustic, simple kind of feel, but make it modern
Great.
at the same time.
I love that.
Okay, we've got a sizable yard, a sizable amount of things that we need to do. What size is the budget?
40,000.
40,000.
Yeah.
So things like having it a 4-season barn conversion maybe isn't possible under that amount of money, but having a 3-season, packing it up for a couple of months, and then reopening it in the spring is definitely doable.
The idea.
Are you open
do
to
that.
that?
For sure.
do that.
Okay, because we can make that work.
Yeah.
Most of the budget will go towards turning the barn into a 3-season living space and building a new deck closer to the house. But we'll still have enough to include a fire pit as well.
We're going all in with this barn conversion. We'll reserve some room for storage, we'll add new windows and doors, and a large table and chairs for game night. A lounge area and a rustic, neutral color palette will make this multi-purpose space perfect for the whole family.
Becki and Shawn's new family chill zone will carry through into the yard, where we'll build a fire pit perfect for starry nights. And there'll always be a seat for little Griffin.
Up here, we'll build a raised patio with a pergola for shade. Dark hardware and glass railings will add a modern flair, and we'll add the same railings to the existing deck to show off those beautiful country vistas.
I am so excited.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So let us do the heavy lifting and get out of here.
Sounds great. Bye.
Okay.
DEMO.
Demo day!
All right, we're gonna clear out the barn, make sure that we can see what we're working with under there, pressure wash it, take out the windows, so let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right. We've got tons of stuff to do. I mean, we've got to clear out the barn and demo the windows, but then it's about space planning the rest of the yard. We've got to mark out the fire pit, and we've got to stake out the patio and deck area.
Yeah.
We have a lot on our plate before the sun sets.
Bang! We're all good. Brian, can we talk for a minute about this table?
The workbench.
Yes. I think this is really cool. I'd love to have a project that is sort of a memory of what the old barn used to be.
I mean, I get it. I get saving things, but like, dude, look at it.
Yeah, fair enough. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have a dude, look at it now moment though.
Anything we can work with, we need to work with, especially with this tight budget. So I actually like that you're saving things and thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And even though you don't know what you're doing yet, you're doing it.
This is a solid wood old farmhouse door.
Yeah, it is nice.
And I'm just thinking, these are around $300 from salvage shops.
There's a little bit of repair work to do on this side.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's in great shape.
Yeah.
I love it.
So let's save this guy. I'm striking gold today. So I just have to keep my eyes open and think slightly outside the box.
Outside the barn.
Yeah.
Or inside the barn.
Think inside the barn, outside the box.
Yeah, got it. Sarah,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the electrical.
That's always a fun conversation.
Kind of the moment of truth.
Turns out the old power line to the barn was removed a long time ago.
As it is now, the barn has no electrical. We know we have to run a new electrical line.
Which will use up all of our contingency budget.
I see.
But the news could get worse.
I haven't investigated the panel yet to
Okay.
see if there's enough room on the existing panel to power the barn.
Yeah.
If there isn't, then we've got to install a sub panel, and that will power the barn, but it'll cost about $1,500.
Dude, it's day one. We already are going over budget. 3, go!
We're turning Becki and Shawn's big country yard into an outdoor entertaining space with a rustic barn hangout.
Let's get to it.
But we just found out that not only do we have to run electrical to the barn,
Kind of the moment of truth.
we might need to update the electrical panel in the house as well.
My concern is that we don't have enough amperage inside the house to run it out to the barn. We're gonna see if it's 100 amp or 200 amp, and then see if there's any room on the panel.
Okay, do we wish for 200 amp?
We definitely wish for 200 amp.
So, pretty much crossing our fingers. All the fingers. All the fingers.
Double cross.
Figuring out the amperage is pretty easy. You just find the panel, open it up,
Sweet.
and there it is, 200 amps.
Hey, how did it look down there?
It's totally fine.
Seriously?
It honestly couldn't get any newer.
Really?
Like, I think the electrician just left. Thankfully, the electrical panel has more than enough power to power the barn.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So we're on budget.
I mean, for now.
Now that that's settled, we have an empty barn to wash.
We're power washing the barn because it's a barn, and it's full of cobwebs and insects.
Also, if you've never power washed, prepare yourself. It is extremely addictive. So satisfying. So much fun.
I know something that's more fun than power washing.
Whoa. Yeah.
There's a zip line.
Oh. Go.
You want me to hit the tree?
Since the existing electrical panel in Becki and Shawn's place has enough amperage for the house and the barn, our only budget overage will be running the service line out to the future chill zone. Meanwhile, the footings we poured for the deck yesterday are cured, so it's time to start working on the structure.
We really need this deck out here because they need the space so that they can entertain on, that they can relax on, that they can eat on. It's also connecting the house to the barn.
The fire pit area just outside the barn is going to complete the new flow. First, we have to dig down about 6 inches, and we need that space to lay down gravel for proper drainage. And then we're tamping that down, and then the patio stones will go on top of that.
So I salvaged this workbench from the old barn, and I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I came up with the idea of turning this into a TV console. There's also this really cool old vise on the corner that reminds you it was the workbench. So I'm actually going to work with that. There we go. So now I'm just going to sand down the top and see what we're working with. Now the goal here is not to sand this patina off the piece. Just wanted to clean it up a little bit. It's actually really fun. There's a whole bunch of different paint colors on here from projects of past. At some point, someone reinforced the heck out of this thing, so I need to find out what's hiding underneath all this extra wood. Look at that. That's the table I want. It's so sweet.
So much is happening today at Becki and Shawn's. The deck is really taking shape. We've got the frame finished, and now we're putting the deck boards on top.
Hey, V.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh my God, this looks amazing.
Isn't it massive?
You know what looks even better? The view from here.
It looks amazing.
Wow.
And then what's great is we're doing that glass railing all the way around,
Well,
so
that's the thing.
we're not messing up the view.
Exactly. The location of this deck is really establishing that first step into the family's new backyard.
And we're almost ready for pavers in the fire pit. They'll be warm with the fire, they can see with the fire, they can cook with the fire, they can sing songs with the fire. And then we get to the barn. So remember we wanted to save those cedar shingles?
Whoa. They're like paper.
We're gonna have to rip off all of these shingles and do new cedar. But the good news is this is the worst side. The other sides still have some life in them.
Yeah.
This one needs to be fully replaced.
Got it.
Yeah. And we have to keep the pear tree, or can we get rid of that? Because it's actually touching the shingles.
Can you look at this for a moment? Do you think we have to keep the pear tree? Of course, the pear tree has to stay.
Look, I'm gonna have to install shingles like this.
So you're saying you can do it?
You're not making my job easy. If you take a bite of this, I will save it because then I'll know that it needs to be here because it's nutritious.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, it's way not ripe.
You prove it's worth.
It's delicious. We should totally save this thing.
Inside the barn, we're done our spray foam insulation, which is great, but definitely some concerns with structure. This looks like an original post, and if you notice, it's directly in the concrete. The moisture is just gonna get sucked up into the end of that post and rot out. And it is the main beam of the whole barn, so I just need to dig up the concrete pad to figure out if it's rotten.
Okay. Whoa. It's become a powder under there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this has to go. You shouldn't be able to push a screwdriver right into your main post.
Wow.
Yeah, so this has to go. It's completely rotten and turned into dust.
I've actually never seen wood that far gone.
Right now I'm putting in temporary supports on either side of the post, and that's gonna carry the load while I remove that post. Then I'm gonna repair the foundation. And since we are in the country, I was able to find a replacement salvage post very quickly, and it's a perfect match. It's a big build day at Becki and Shawn's. I'm getting the last of the patio stones in place for the family fire pit area, and then I'm filling all of the joints with a polymeric sand. And once I wet it, that will harden, but it will still allow water to drain through when it rains. And these old shingles had to go, so I'm working around the pear tree to add new cedar shingles to the front of the barn. It's a little bit of an art because you've got to make sure that your joints are staggered. You want to make sure that the pieces above cover the gaps below. That way water can't get in behind.
I've sanded and finished the top of our future TV table. And now that I've painted the base of the workbench, I'm finding that this is looking a little too spankin' new. To make it work better with the rougher top, I'm just gonna scuff it up a little bit with some sandpaper, just on the points that would naturally get a little bit of distress over the years. And there was this vise on the edge of this workbench. So I've come up with this really cool idea for a table lamp using some galvanized pipe. It really sort of celebrates the fact that this was a workbench at one point in its life. I've threaded my cord through, added the little copper details on, and now that it's all painted, I'm going to add it into my vise. I don't even think Becki and Shawn are gonna recognize this.
This is the first barn conversion that we've ever done, and it's a 3-season space, so we're using some exterior grade products on the inside. This tongue and groove pre-finished siding will easily survive the long winter, and we've got a beautiful interior that looks like an interior now. It doesn't look like a barn as much anymore. Plus, we filled the cracks in the concrete slab. Now we're putting down a layer of gravel so we can start laying the pavers that'll perfectly match the ones on the outside. And it just looks like a completely new building. Now I'm installing a door for the storage room. We found this really cool door on day one that was original, maybe to the house, and we realized that it would work really well as a sliding barn door. And right now I'm attaching the rollers to the top of the door, which will slide along the rail really nicely. But what's great about using it here is that we've got an old doorway here to the storage, and it's not straight. So this solves our problem really easily. We can just cover it up with the door, and no one ever knows. And back outside, we're building the pergola for Becki and Shawn's deck for some much-needed shade.
I also really love the style that we're doing here, that sort of modern take on country living. It's very contemporary, but it's also timeless.
Pull your weight on it. That's it.
Yay!
The major build is done and the renovation is pretty much complete. So Sarah and I are figuring out exactly where we want to put the foliage to kind of warm up the space. I like that it's not too perfect and prim and proper. I feel like that would like stick out like a sore thumb in this beautiful wild landscape.
Yeah. We're rounding the corner now. I'm about to bring in all my furniture. Love it.
Glass railings are going in. I love them. They look so good.
There's so many lounge areas and family gathering areas on this project.
They're gonna freak in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
So excited. Becki and Shawn are gonna love this space, or spaces. There's so many spaces.
And they needed space. With no room inside and lots of land outside, we were able to add so much to this property.
We built a new fully shaded deck just off their existing one, and that leads to a fire pit area outside the barn.
And that leads to an incredible rustic barn rehab that will fit Becki, Shawn, their 3 kids, and then some.
Becki and Shawn, you guys ready?
There you are.
How are you guys feeling about this new backyard of yours?
We are super excited to have it back.
Excited. I'm pretty nervous.
All right,
pretty
well, we're excited
excited
to show you, so let's go.
Let's
All
go.
right,
It's time.
let's go.
Take a look
Oh my
at your new backyard.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Look at that deck.
It's huge. Wow. This is amazing.
I think it's everything that we imagined and dreamed of.
Do you guys remember what it used to look like before?
Yeah.
Nothing like this.
No. This is exactly what we wanted. Oh my goodness, look at this. I love it.
This is amazing.
And it's
awesome.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Just want to jump right on.
And we still have been able to provide this amazing view because
We use
Glass
this
is
glass
awesome.
railing. And this is one of the only spots in your backyard that you have shade.
This is amazing.
yeah,
It actually feels cool right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's,
Makes
it's
a
a sunny
huge
day and
difference.
it's feeling cool. It's awesome.
we're creating these more contemporary structures, but they still have that rustic feel that you like, right?
For sure, super inviting.
And we have more to show you. So we've actually echoed the 15 by 15 deck down here on the 15 by 15
Awesome.
patio.
We can fit our whole family and friends.
With the fall coming, I'm so excited about the fire. I can just see myself out here. It's going to be great.
And we went with a chimenea because it allows this space to double also just as a second patio.
For sure.
If you don't want the fire to be the centerpiece.
Dance floor.
Dance floor, there you go. You can just push everything aside. And if it rains, you can take the dance floor inside the barn. It looks a little bit different.
Wow. It's like a whole new barn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I could never imagine this.
Holy cow.
I can't even believe it.
This barn was a barn.
Yes.
And now we have a living space. It's just crazy.
This is beautiful. I can't even take it all in at once. Oh my goodness, we don't even have a dining room inside. We have one outside. Wow.
There's a lot to look at.
Yes.
There is so much to look at.
So that was a special project that I had. I found that over here, that little workbench. Painted it up, oiled up the top, and I loved that vise.
Yeah.
So I made a little
Can't
table
believe you
lamp
made
out
a
of it.
lamp out of it.
That is like amazing.
Yeah. Everything looks so cool, but then you were able to save some stuff like the original post here.
That's not the original post. The original post was much smaller, and it was actually rotted at the bottom.
Oh my
It fits
goodness.
in perfectly here.
And you'll notice that we've got zones the way you do in the first floor of your house. We've got this living room area here, and then over here, we've got an outdoor dining area.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we've also got this little kind of more private reading nook over here too with this hanging chair, which I love.
So you'll recognize this door
I think so.
that Sarah actually found in this corner over
Yes,
here.
piled up over there.
And we converted it into a sliding barn door.
that's so cool.
It gives you that access to the storage back
Yeah.
there.
Right.
And makes it nice and clean, but still rustic to go with the rest of the barn.
Yeah.
We knew when we bought the place that the barn was amazing and we knew it had huge potential, but we also knew that we couldn't bring it together.
No, there's no way we could have done that.
I am so proud of this project. As a family, they see how renovating their backyard is actually pulling their family closer together.
And it's going to change their life.
Oh my gosh.
It's so nice.
It looks nothing like it did.
Not only does Griffin get a chair, he gets the coolest chair in the project.
My favorite part, definitely the chair in the corner.
It's come full circle now.
It really
heart.
has.
Full heart.
Well,
Became full
but
heart.
that's sort of perfect.
And this is really giving us everything we need to get out and enjoy the backyard. Like, this is making the backyard home.
First favorite thing about this project is how happy Becki and Shawn are.
Second favorite thing about this project? Kittens!
The cutest little kittens.
Hello. What's going on?
Oh.
For more information about backyard builds, visit hgtv.ca.